Hello everyone out there, welcome back to the Phantoms Fanatic YouTube channel. I am back with another review, and this week I am reviewing Pray for the Devil, released this year in 2022, starring Jacqueline Byers, Kristen Navarro, Colin Salmon, Nicholas Ralph, Ben Cross, and Virginia Madsen, and it was directed by Daniel Stamm. In this movie, the Roman Catholic Church is trying to combat the recent rise of possession, so they reopen schools of exorcism. But nuns and women aren't allowed to do it. They take up a job as a nursing duty, but one specific professor sees how one professor sees the main character, Sister Anne's gift, and tries to train her to combat and defend herself against the dark arts of the devil. This movie fucking blows. One of the only positive things that I can give this movie are a couple of things. Let me just start it off by saying the cinematography and shots are not bad. I think that the cinematography is all right and pretty interesting way that they shoot this, with a lot of gray sepia tones, and especially with flashbacks, those are done well. And there are interesting ideas to cover about this concept, as dumb as like a school for exorcism sounds, because they have a psychologist there to determine whether a person is possessed, actually, because of how much time in the past that they've been wrongly accused just for having mental disease. But with that kind of thing, I feel like that would be so much more of an interesting thing, is if that throughout the movie, if you were on constant whether demons are real or not. I feel like that would have been a more interesting, compelling idea that this movie doesn't really explore. And I will say, its depiction of religious figures I don't mind, because I like how they have technology. She is a nun, but she uses technology, and she's not always wearing her habit, which I like that depiction. I thought that was interesting. But the whole thing with her backstory, with her mom being possessed by a demon who's now possessing this little girl, you just get the most fucking by-the-numbers, boring as shit, nothing new introduced possession horror movie. I have seen so many better possession horror movies deal with concepts a lot more interesting and a lot more engaging, such as The Exorcist and The Exorcism of Emily Rose, or The Last Exorcism. Just a bunch of these ones are way more interesting and compelling than this movie's direction on possession and all that. The effects are fucking shit. Like, all of it is CGI shitty. No scene had me chilling, because it's the same shit you've seen in all possession movies. Them talking in a deep, gravelly voice, their eyes turning white, and them fucking and then the lights flicker, which gets fucking annoying. Barely any of the scares actually got me. Most of the scares are just fucking standard bullshit scares. The writing is not very good. Nothing is compelling or interesting. You get a lot of just exposition thrown at you to what's going on right away. And of course, you have the fucking thing where she's the first female exorcist, and we're trying to tell a story like this, which I have no problem trying to tell a story like this, but they don't make it interesting. It follows the exact same cliches you expect this story to, because in the film, you think she breaks the rules and she thought she did good, but then it turns out she was wrong. So then third act split up. They were like, yeah, you can't trust a woman to be in power of the exorcism. And then there's a stupid twist that I literally saw coming. Like, it is just so bad. None of the characters are interesting. The acting from Colin Salmon is interesting because he's just a British guy, and I've seen him in other things, and he can make any dialogue work. And same thing with Virginia Madsen. She's pretty good in this, but the main actress, I don't know if this was a director thing or what, but she kind of just has the same attitude in every scene, and whenever she has to, like, be friendly and smiley to this little girl, it comes off as, like, being forced and almost, like, creepy. Like, it's such a fucking slog this movie was. Like, Oh, this movie is barely even 90 minutes. This movie is oh, this movie is 90 minutes long, and I was fucking so bored because nothing was happening. You just get scenes upon scenes of boring normal possession shit, her doing research on the possession, her breaking the rules. It is just such a standard nothing horror movie. Nothing new is being explored with this. No new concepts except the exorcism school, but they don't do anything that interesting with said concept. They just do by the numbers possession story. You do get maybe like a few scenes which I kind of liked where the little girl who is possessed is like fucking up people in an ambulance. That I found somewhat entertaining and kind of creepy. And then you had a scene where she's looking at these archive tapes and it's, you know, shitty quality, but I like that. And it's actually kind of scary what I was predicting, but then throw in a shitty CGI effect that I could do better with my fucking home computer than they do with this. And then the whole backstory with her mother being possessed kind of leads into the end, and then the end makes you think one thing is going to happen, but then it all wraps up, but then, oh, a cliffhanger ending, because I'm so hyped for where this is going in the future. I'm fucking not. These movies are... This movie is just so nothing. The characters are stock and standard. Nothing is interesting about them. The movie is just boring. I was so bored throughout this movie. Like... The worst thing you could do with a movie is make it boring. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdoms, for the most part, I was just fucking confused and somewhat entertained by the crazy shit happening there, but even that I felt was way too fucking long. This is an hour shorter than this, and I fucking was just like, ugh, how much fucking longer of this shit that I already know how it's gonna go, how it's gonna play out. Nothing new is being said in this. And I do feel bad for the actors, because I can tell in some scenes that they do work, almost. That the Jacqueline Byers, I just think that the script and the directing maybe doesn't compliment her as much. Same thing with Christian Navarro. He's alright, but also the little girl's acting isn't all that impressive, but I'm not gonna blame the little girl for that. It's just that nothing new is being explored. It's a standard exorcism movie that really, really is just boring and by-the-numbers horror. This is one of the worst horror movies that I've seen this year. For the most part, horror's been killing it, but for this, I don't think it works as well. Nothing is really creepy. The cinematography's alright, the editing's alright, but... You just get standard, boring-ass, shitty effects with standard exorcism moments, and you know where everything's gonna lead. Nothing surprises you. Nothing really scares you. There's no tension. The characters aren't engaging. This movie is just a fucking slog to get through, so I don't recommend this. But I guess if you want to see just a horror movie with a date... I don't even know if this would work that well for that, because it's not really scary. It's just kind of boring. I honestly don't recommend this one. This movie isn't very good. And they do this whole thing where they show the name of the title at the end because they think they're being clever when it's just fucking not. So yeah, I don't recommend this. It's not very good. They had some interesting concepts that if I thought they were to explore them that way, maybe it would work out, but they really didn't, so... Anyways, what did you guys think? Obviously, I fucking hate this movie, so I wonder what you guys think about it, and... Obviously, leave your thoughts on the review and the movie in the comment section down below. If you have any other movies you want me to review, make sure to leave those in the comment sections as well. Make sure to like, subscribe down below, check out the channel, and share it. I always like to see the growth of the channel. And, yeah, I'll see you all next time with Black Panther Wakanda Forever.